Welcome to Batch Eligibility for Practice Management. In order to actually start this program, all you need to do is just make a shortcut on your desktop to pelig.exe. Again, it's pelig.exe. You just make a shortcut, or you can add it to the customs menu to run it. Obviously, it'll be installed by default in future installations, but for right now, because we're doing a startup site, that's how we do it. It's a real basic screen. On the left, you've got your add patients. From here, you can just manually add patients by double-clicking on them, or you can add from a scheduler date range. You can just pick for tomorrow, for example, and it will pull everything in according to a certain doctor, so on and so forth. I don't have any data in there, so it's not pulling in. Have the ability to obviously to clear the whole batch to start over. You can add individual patients and remove highlighted accordingly. And then these two buttons, of course, are the actual process of transmitting the eligibility request and getting the responses. Down here, when we get to that point, this is actually going to be processed eligibility responses, and you can see all the individual people batches and then what their individual responses are. They send a lot of data, so we just capture all of it, and then you can print for the whole transaction set. Obviously, it's grouped according to this transaction set number that's right here. So from this point, basically, you've just set your list up. Now you will need a payer ID and the appropriate payer ID. They will fail without it. They'll also need the name, and a lot of times they want the social security number, but not always. Default date for query should be the current date, and that is a limitation of Navicure. Right now, we have the ability to change it because we want the ability to go with any eligibility system. However, for right now, Navicure says to set it to the current date. It's just a limitation of their system, and they said usually it's for the next day anyways, so eligibility to be available one day, not the next, is so rare. But again, that's how they asked us to do it. So from this point, basically, you're just picking your people and then clicking on the create and transmit eligibility requests and responses. From that point, it will tell you the eligibility file has been created, and then it will start up this window right here, which starts a secure FTP connection and sends the files. There are some setups involved in setting that up, but I've already done that for you. It'll all be automated on an actual install in the future, but I can show you how to do that at a later time. And from that point, you can check back in a half hour or so. I believe that's what it is. You'll have to check with Navicure to be sure, but I think it's about a half hour. And from that point, you would just click on the Get Responses, which starts another secure connection, looks for any files, and downloads them. And if they have them, you'll actually get a message that says you have 3 eligibility responses to process. So there actually were some for this site, which is actually kind of cool. So from there, we would click on that, and it would import them in. And there it just imported 3. And here they are down at the bottom. So it looks like for John Smith, it looks like there were 3 that were sent in. Very cool. It's kind of neat. So it seems like it's working as far as processing the individuals as well. And from this point, you can actually print the highlighted record, which will, let me put this in the window here, sorry. You can see the batch response itself, and you can print from there. Or you can print for all that transaction set just by clicking on a specific transaction set and clicking on Print Transaction Set. And that is that's pretty much it. If for some reason you need to know what files that we installed, these are the files that were installed right here. And that's what we'll need to be in for every future installation. However, like I said, that's going to be on the installer, and that's not something to worry about. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call.